is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and you're watching a brand new episode of Dorks Den Movie Minute. Today we're going to be discussing and reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder. I got to say right off the bat, I like this movie to a certain extent. I like there's parts of it I like, I got to say that. So this is going to be a spitball, all over the place kind of review, because that's kind of how the movie it was. It was very fast paced, it was one of the shortest MCU movies I've ever seen in my life, running at 2 hours. And with that 2 hours, it's all jokes nonstop, one after another. Most of them don't hit, unfortunately, but the ones that do I thought were very, very funny. And there were some that are very divisive against others. Like, for example, I love the goats. I thought the goats were hilarious. And every time they let out their scream when they hit a planet, I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was overdone. I didn't think it was too much. I thought it was very funny. It was a good recurring joke that ran throughout the movie. They could have used a few less goat screams in the beginning, and then it would have made the joke a little bit funnier later on as they brought it back. But I'm glad it played out the way that it did. The things I did like. Let's start off with the things I did like. So the goats are on there. I like their characters. I like the jokes they ran with them. I did like Jane Foster's character in this movie. I liked her when she played the Mighty Thor. She felt more of herself. She didn't feel like she was phoning in the acting chops that she did like previous movies. Because previously in Thor: The Dark World and the original Thor movie, I felt that Jane Foster or Natalie Portman was phoning in the acting. Even in Avengers Endgame, she was barely there. So I really didn't feel that connection between her and Thor until this movie actually happened. And they really do flesh out what their relationship was and why they broke up and why they're no longer together. So we do get a little bit more of the Jane and Thor relationship of what happened and why it happened in this movie. The other thing I do like as well is I'm very happy they did tackle the cancer storyline with Jane Foster, because that would explain how she got the hammer, why she became worthy, and all these other things. They focus on the cancer portion of a little bit, slightly, but not enough. I mean, they glance over how the hammer called to her. They glance over how she got the hammer. It just happens, and she goes to New Asgard, and just happens, and now she's Thor, the Mighty Thor. No explanation, no reason. You have cancer, now you're Mighty Thor. I wish they spent just a little bit more time on her and tweaking that storyline into the actual movie itself to make it feel more cohesive. But it worked for what it was. The other thing I was a little bit disappointed on, I did like his acting chops as Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. I think he did a phenomenal job playing that character with what he had, and the screen time that he had. He chewed up the scene, and he did a great job. And he was one of the main stars of that movie. Without Christian Bale, I don't think that movie would have been as good as it was. So I'm glad that he's in there as Gore the God Butcher. Now, what I don't like about Gore the God Butcher is they showed all the God butchering off screen. The only god we get to see butchered is the one in the very beginning, when we're introduced to Gore the God Butcher, just to kind of give his backstory. And the other thing is, he didn't seem like a bad guy. He went more the Thanos route, where he's a sympathetic villain, because he lost his daughter, and that's all he wants is to bring his daughter back and stuff like that. So very cool villain to see in the MCU. I liked his makeup design, I liked the way he fought, and I liked the way he could go toe-to-toe with Thor. And not only our Thor, but the Mighty Thor as well. And those action scenes in the movie are good as well. To see Mighty Thor and Thor go hand-to-hand, combat with some of these villains, these monsters that come out of the darkness, that was cool to see as well. Also, the black and white scenes with Gore the God Butcher were very effective. I love them. I love the saturation of the tone to bring you that dread, and they really pulled it off really well in this movie with those scenes. Now, the things I really didn't like was it was a joke a mile per minute. We get to see Russell Crowe as Zeus, but we do not get to see Hercules until the post-credit scene, which is a little bit unfortunate. I wish we got to see Hercules in the movie at least a little bit. Just a little bit would have been awesome, but he doesn't show up till the post-credit scene. We get to see Russell Crowe as Zeus. He's a jerk. His accent is kind of ridiculous. It feels like like if someone were to do a foreign voice, like if a white person were to do a foreign voice, that's what it sounds like. Like, hello, I'm Zeus, like stuff like that. I found it ridiculous. It was too over the top for me. And it was too stupid. It was just too dumb for me to even laugh at. So Zeus is out of the picture now. He's out of the film. I thought he was going to have a larger role, but it's more of like a side quest. Oh, let's go get Zeus's bolt. And they hardly use Zeus's bolt for whatever reason, or it's there for whatever reason. Just for Valkyrie, I guess, to have a cool weapon, and that's it before they go into the final fight, which they hardly use it. So that's cool, I guess. But the main thing here is the title itself, Thor: Love and Thunder, refers to love being Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher at the end of the movie ends up getting his daughter back through eternity. So eternity basically brings back Gore the God Butcher's daughter, but Gore dies in response because he's dying, which felt unearned. It happened at the very last second. He's like, "Oh, I'm dying," just like Jane was dying this whole time. Very unearned, and they don't mention it until the very end of the movie. So basically, Thor's got to take care of his daughter. Gore the God Butcher's daughter from here on out in the MCU, being like Papa Thor, and that's what they set up here at the end of this, and that's the Love and Thunder in the title, Thor: Love and Thunder. It's him and his adopted daughter, Love, which is her name, Gore's daughter. So then it sets up the MCU to have Thor be like this leader of the Young Avengers, which I think is going to be really cool, and I cannot wait to see how they do this. But the fact that they use Chris Hemsworth's daughter to play Eternity, Gore the God, or Love, Gore the God Butcher's daughter, I don't see them bringing her back, so maybe they'll age her up and bring a new actress in to take on that role of Love, to play off of Chris Hemsworth. Maybe have a teenage daughter with Chris Hemsworth would be kind of cool to see, and have that dynamic between the two. So I cannot wait to see what they do with Thor in the future. Overall, I give this movie, it was a little bit of a mess. Like I said, thematic-wise, there's a lot going on, and it was very sloppily put together. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It is not my favorite Marvel movie by far. It is not even, I thought Multiverse of Madness was a much better movie than this, and I thought even that was a little bit of a mess. So I cannot wait to see what you guys think of this movie. Let me know down below what you guys thought of Thor: Love and Thunder. I give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was okay. It was a decent Marvel movie, but it's not one of the best ones I've ever seen. But let me know down below what you guys think. Make sure you like, subscribe, or share. And as always, guys, keep it right here on Dorks Den. I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.